Okay, I finally have my hands on a PlayStation 5 and this is a gift from my sister. It's very exciting, and so in this video I'm gonna unbox it, set it up, try some games and give you my opinions. Plus, even though it was a gift, I had to be the one who presses the order button, so I'm also gonna share some tips on how I was able to find one on Amazon. But surprisingly though, all it came was this box and nothing on top of it, which is something I haven't really seen Amazon ever do. Also, this moment is very special to me because I always wanted a PlayStation ever since PS3. And so this is finally a time where I've got my hands on one. Plus, for those of you who do not know, I had a gaming PC with 3060 Ti on it. I gave it to my brother for his architecture stuff, and I needed something for once in a while gaming. And this, a PS5, sounded like a perfect replacement to my PC because I was only gonna use it for gaming. I already have a MacBook Pro 14-inch for my work stuff. Anyway, so we're gonna cut this thing off. Let's grab a scissor, and after removing the outside box, we have a white box inside with minimal branding. I think it looks great. Upon opening the box, the first thing that we see is a power cable for the PS5. Very high quality. Next up, we have some documentation, and then we have a stand for the PS5 that comes in black color wrapped around it this thing. Looks confusing, but then again, high quality, and so let's see. Next up, we have this HDMI 2.1 cable that can support 4K at 120Hz. And finally, we have the DualSense controller. First impression, the white is not really white. It's sort of a bluish white. And I think it looks great, but compare it to the Xbox controller, you can clearly see the whites are very different. Anyway, it doesn't matter though. And so finally, we have the console. I mean, first impressions, it goes so well with my setup. And I mean, it was a bit hard to take it out solo by my hands, but I did it somehow, and this thing just looks beautiful. Also, notice how this is the disc edition. It is because I prefer it. It just makes more sense to me because you can collect more games and stuff physically, plus you can also use it as a Blu-ray player. Aesthetically speaking though, the digital edition looks more flush because it has a symmetrical design, unlike this one, but it doesn't bother me very much. I think the white material used on this console feels great and premium, but the black one is a dust magnet. Now I'm currently going to set up the PlayStation 5 right here, right in my room with this 144Hz 1080p LG Ultra Gear monitor. This thing was a part of my PC which wasn't taken by my brother, and so it sounded ideal to utilize it. And in the future I might just put the PlayStation in the living room with the TV, but for now I just want to use it whenever I can right from my bedroom. Now before we move any further, I need to tell you about the sponsor of this portion of the video. Thanks to Salad for sponsoring this portion of today's video. So if you have a gaming PC which you probably don't use for 24 hours, you should try Salad. Salad will use your PC's idle power to make it earn you rewards such as Discord Nitro, Amazon gift cards, Steam gift cards, and much more. The way this works is through mining, which might make you skeptical at first, but then you can check out Salad's source code on GitHub as well as their Trustpilot reviews. Salad works best when you're not doing anything on your PC, like say when you're sleeping or you're just outside. So whenever you're ready, head over to the link in the description, download Salad, install it, run it, sign up and use my code RAJ to double your income for a limited time. To begin, just hit start, give it a while, check your earnings and claim something for yourself. To earn more, you can also use their referral system. It is all very simple, but if you still have any doubts, check the FAQs in the description. Okay, so now that I've placed it where I wanted to, I think it looks great here. Although it's a huge console, that's for sure, it just got in there perfectly. Now, since this is the first boot, I'll have to connect the controller using a wire. After which it was asking me to adjust the HDR, which yes, this monitor does support, followed by a prompt which is asking me to insert a disc if I happen to have one, and I did buy 2 games actually, Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition and God of War. God of War is a PS4 game, and so I'm gonna insert the Miles Morales one. Okay, so then we have some power options. I'm gonna go with optimized experience because this is gonna allow you to make the full use of that SSD that can load games as quick as possible. And so after a few more steps, it says welcome to PlayStation 5 and we are good to go. I mean, it did take a second. So at this point, I can already see Astro's Playroom pre-installed on this thing and Miles Morales is being copied. And I can literally hear that. The PlayStation is making a loud noise. It's probably the disc spinning. So, okay, so time to check out what we have. Astro's Playroom. Okay, so this game is insanely fun. I was not expecting this. And I played this game for over 1 hour, not just because it was meant to be, but rather because it was actually fun. And this game is meant to show you what the DualSense controller is capable of. Like, I was using the Xbox Series S controller on my PC, and that thing is nowhere close to what this thing is. Now, being someone who is used to mouse and keyboard gaming, switching to a control is definitely hard, but this thing is very comfortable to hold. So far, I like that I don't have to spread my hands like I have to while playing games on a PC. I can just take this thing and lie on my back. This DualSense controller is just so impressive. Like, you probably have heard about the adaptive triggers because it was one of the key features of this controller, and all of the other haptics on this thing are just so well made. But apart from that, this thing also has a mic plus a speaker. I got to know about it when I was playing Astro's Playroom, because until that I had not tested my USB headphones if those would work with the PlayStation 5, and turns out they do. This is, by the way, the Arctis 7 by SteelSeries. I also suddenly realized that all of this was being done on the PlayStation without even logging in with my PlayStation account, which I had created a few months back for some reason. And this is impressive for people who are into privacy stuff, who don't want to make an account on PlayStation. Turns out you can still play games, which is impressive. Speaking of privacy, you do have multiple options to choose from. It's just neat. Once signed in, I was then prompted to update the software inside of this thing and the controller, which I did. After that, I went ahead and downloaded so many free-to-play games, plus some games which I already had in my PlayStation account, because they were being given away months ago and I had claimed them, namely Horizon Zero Dawn and Subnautica. Now, there were some issues for me, plus some things which I did not like. For example, in the system settings, my resolution was set to automatic, and for some reason it was outputting 4K, even though my monitor is just 1080p. This had been causing trouble with games which could run on 120 FPS, for example Fortnite. And so when I switched to 1080, it was all fine. Also, I did not know this, that when you have a disc edition of the game, you have to put in the disc every single time when you have to run the game. Now, out of all the games which I have played on this thing yet, nothing felt as good as Astro's Playroom with the DualSense controller. With every other game, it just felt like a normal controller with vibrations. I mean, this is probably something that games in the future will improve with. Now, there are so many things to love about this console, like the seamless emulation of PS4 games. Like, I can play that huge library without going through anything. And thanks to a friend of mine, Ishan, he was kind enough to lend me some of his PS4 games. I love how this thing consumes so much less power as compared to a gaming PC. I love how this thing looks on my desk. It literally looks like something from the future. I love the addition of the mobile app as well. Like, it's not just one of those things a company makes for marketing and stuff. That app actually has good features. I can get notifications whenever a download finishes. So whenever I'm in college or something, or whenever I'm out of the city, I can know, okay, this game has been finished downloading. I can also buy games directly from the app and start downloading. So if I'm coming home, I can already plan, and okay, this is 105 GB. I should start downloading 16 hours earlier. Stuff like that. It's just so awesome. I love how I can also see other stuff like my stats within games, achievements and all that stuff. I really hope that for you PC gamers, Steam brings something like this. The biggest thing which I liked though was the fact that I can come home anytime, press the PlayStation button on the controller and get into New York City playing as Spider-Man in under 10 seconds. That's just insane. I love how fast this new PlayStation 5 is. It's also good to know that this thing is going to last me for a couple of years before it is outdated, which also is a good thing to have. And there are just so many small details, like the light flashes orange when it's on the standby mode, it flashes blue when it's turning on, white when it's on. Okay, so for those of you who were wondering how was I able to secure one, so I live in India and here we have Amazon India, but if you're from some other country, it's gonna be the same procedure for you if you have Amazon in your country. So whenever there's gonna be a restock, you're going to see a banner image. And I know there are so many Twitter accounts and stuff. Those remind you whenever there is a restock. I had been trying to get a PlayStation through that for months and I was never able to. Like, these scalpers were always too quick. So this time around the restock was going to be on 12 p.m. and until 12:03 I was not able to find any PlayStation 5 listing on Amazon. But then what I did was I went to that banner image which was showing when will the restock take place, and I clicked on it and it took me to this PS5 page which had add to cart and buy now. And that's how I got it. And yep, that's pretty much it. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And yep, I am so happy with this decision of switching to a MacBook Pro 14 inch for all my work and a PlayStation for all my gaming stuff once in a while. And I am not missing Windows at all, sorry. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.